As physicians, we are tasked with making sure that our treatment decisions are made based on the best and most recent available data. Ongoing lifelong education is what makes it possible for doctors to really provide cutting-edge care and treatments to patients that have proven outcomes every day, every time. Endless hours of reading journals and attending national and international meetings are simply part of a doctor's job to become educated and stay current. These activities make us better doctors and better scientists. However, CMS, when adjudicating coverage decisions, often choose to ignore the importance of real-world data and the ongoing development and advancement of medical treatments. For example, recently, CMS announced a new rule for some advanced radiation-based cancer therapies. I'm not a cancer doctor, but specifically in the case of coverage for proton therapy, and this is a form of highly precise radiation that has been proven in multiple clinical trials to be very effective at debulking cancers while at the same time preserving healthy tissue. CMS has chosen to ignore the latest data that shows its superiority to traditional radiation treatments. Instead, CMS has based its decision on obsolete data from 2014 and has put more emphasis on cost savings rather than on what is best for our patient, what's going to give them the best outcome with the minimal collateral damage. Now, while I'm not an expert in radiation oncology, I can easily assess the latest treatment data and treatment guidelines. Unlike traditional radiation, proton therapy minimizes this collateral damage I referred to. Healthy tissue adjacent to the tumor is not placed at the same risk as we see with traditional radiation therapy for these tumors. Most top cancer centers around the U.S. have purchased these technologies, have access to it, and use it regularly. Now, in this particular case, CMS is relying on outdated studies from 2014 in a proposed rule that will severely limit access to this life-saving treatment. CMS flatly ignores most recent guidelines that are established by the American Society of Radiation Oncology and the National Comprehensive Cancer Network, as well as by expert oncologists and radiation oncologists from all around the country and all around the world who recommend the use of proton therapy. If this proposed new rule is implemented, it's going to severely limit patient access to this proven, potentially life-saving therapy. Even more concerning is the fact that some of the CMS decision is apparently, from my sources, based on cost savings. The new therapy is more expensive than traditional radiation because there's a big capital investment that is associated with acquiring the new type of equipment, and the charges are higher to cover those costs. Without this therapy, many patients will experience more long-term side effects, and ultimately, in the end, I argue will cost the system more over time. CMS seems to be focused on short-term cost savings rather than what is best for the patient and the patient's family and everyone associated. It should never be acceptable to ignore data that supports a new treatment that is well done in order to cut costs. As physicians, we are charged with providing the very best care for our patients. We must not allow ignorant government officials to determine the best course of treatment for our patients in order to save a dime. The CMS system of coverage rules is antiquated and outdated. It often relies on obsolete data and non-experts. The process is slow and arbitrary for rule setting. Something has to be done. We must encourage Congress to step in and advocate for our patients. Every patient should have the ability to access high-quality, cutting-edge, proven care and treatments, especially when they're recommended by a highly trained physician in a particular area of expertise. We cannot leave these types of decisions to bureaucrats.